Data warehouse is nothing but a collection of data, and it is stored in one particular computer or at one location. Whatever the data is updated, it will be immediately reflected in the database. That is the real-time data warehouse. The database in offline systems are updated in a regular interval because it is not online, it is offline. Dear students, welcome to CS classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in computer science, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Students, let us continue our discussion with the topic data warehouse under database concepts. So first of all, what is a warehouse or data warehouse? Let us see the definition of this. A data warehouse is a repository of an organization and electronically stored data. Data warehouses are designed to facilitate reporting and supporting data analysis. So, what is a data warehouse? In general term, in English, warehouse is nothing but is a collection of items. Generally, we can say warehouse, it is a collection of items. Now, if we talk about data warehouse, it is a collection of data. So, it is a collection of data and stored electronically. In the sense, we are going to store this data in electronic devices like computers or maybe memory devices, hard disk, wherever it is as per our convenience. And what exactly it is a repository, means it is important for any organization. So, what is the importance of data warehouse? It is very, very important as far as any organization is concerned. So, what is the advantage of that? So, here it is designed to facilitate the reporting and supporting data analysis. So, with the help of the data or data warehouse, so the company or any organization, they will use this data for data analysis and to facilitate different types of users. So, this is the basic definition of data warehouse. So, it is a repository of an organizations and stored electronically or in electronic devices. So, that is the definition of data warehouse. So, here I can give a simple example. You can simulate this with a very good example is your supermarket. Now, just you consider supermarket, it is a place where it contains different types of items to facilitate different types of users. So, just you can assume that it also a type of data collection center. So, if you look at any other supermarket, so any customer, any users, he will go to the market and he will pick up the items as per his requirement, and finally it will be billed. So, this is a simple example, or simulate this just like a data warehouse. So, it is a collection of items at one location, at one place, so that the users find it easy. And what is the advantage for this data warehouse? It is used to data analysis or analyze the data for his organization. So, this is a data warehouse. Now, data warehouse, it is a separate computer database or designed to support management information and analysis purpose. So, actually, this is a data warehouse, nothing but a database. I mean, it's a collection of data. Normally, this data are stored in database systems or database management system. So, it is designed to support management information and analysis purpose. So, this is the main advantage of data warehouse is nothing but for analysis or data analysis. And these data warehouse were able to bring data from different data sources such as mainframe computer and different types of computers. So, what is the data warehouse is nothing but, as I said, it is a collection of data. So, we have to get the data at one location, one place. But how to collect the data and what type of data and how to gather different types of data. So, here the data for a data warehouse, the data are available, or we can collect the data from different type of system. If I say system, for example, it's a mainframe computer or mini computer or personal computer and so on. Student, nowadays you might have come across example. See, now if you use any software, any database system, it has multiple interfaces, or same website. For example, any college website, same website can be viewed, it can be operated, it can operate on different systems like your personal computers, laptop, or notebook computers, or even mobile. So that is a different interfaces. Similarly, the database, for a database, data can be collected from different sources. Now, it is also has a user-friendly reporting tools. With the help of data warehouse, it is possible to get a different types of report as per organization's requirement. Data warehouse has several fundamental stages and this is about the database, and it has so many fundamental stages. Here, let us see what are different stages of database. First one is offline operational database. As we have seen in the previous slide, data warehouse is nothing but a collection of data, and it is stored in one particular computer or at one location. So here, offline operational database. So this is an initial stage of data warehouse, and data warehouse in this initial stage are developed by simply copying the database of operational system to offline server. Now, this is offline operational database. So, normally here, what is the meaning of this type offline operational database? The database which is working, or we say which is operational. So, as a first stage, we are going to copy the operational database from one computer to another computer as the initial stage. That is the first stage, and that is to offline server. Second one is offline data warehouse. This is offline data warehouse. In this stage, the data warehouses are updated in a regular time cycle, maybe daily, weekly, or monthly, from operational system, and then data is represented in report structure. So this is offline data warehouse. So what is the meaning of offline here? The operational data warehouse or a database is copied to offline system here. So in offline data warehouse or the database which are copied to as a offline data warehouse system. So these are updated on a regular time cycle. Means suppose I want to update the database, for example, like either daily or weekly or monthly. So the database in offline systems are updated in a regular interval because it is not online, it is offline. So that is we have to keep in our mind. In offline data warehouse, so the data items or data are updated frequently in a regular interval of time. So this is offline data warehouse. Next one is real-time data warehouse. Another stage is real-time data warehouse. In this warehouse, the data are updated when transaction or event is performed. So this is almost like online data warehouse. So you know what is the meaning of online nowadays. Now I can give an example of a bank transaction. Nowadays, all banks are computerized. So any transaction you do or any operation from your account is carried out, and immediately you will get, it will be reported, or you will get a message or SMS message, or same thing information goes to your email address what you have provided. See, all these are nothing but online transaction. So real-time data warehouse is similar to that. So here, whatever the data is updated, it will be immediately reflected in the database. That is the real-time data warehouse. Next one is integrated data warehouse. Here, when the warehouse is at integrated stage, it not only updates the data when transaction is performed, but also generates transaction to pass the data to the integrated data warehouse. Means it is at the beginning stage. It is at the integrated stage. So here, once the data are updated of any transaction, it will be reported to the concerned source. So that is the meaning of integrated data warehouse. Now let us move on to next slide. Next one is components of data warehouses. Now, what are the different components of data warehouse? They are data sources. As you know, the data warehouse is nothing but a collection of data. And as we already have seen in the previous slide, so data are collected from different resources or different sources like mainframe, mini, and different types of electronic devices. So here first one is data sources. So data sources refer to any electronic repository of information that contains data useful for management and analysis. And data for data warehouse is collected from different resources. First one is source of data. So for data warehouse, we have to collect the data from different sources that is important for any organization, or we have to collect the important data for the data warehouse, so which are useful for any organization. So this is data sources, and it can collect from different sources. If I say different sources, it can be from mainframe computer, mini computer, microcomputers, or any electronic devices. So this is data sources. So data sources compulsory is mandatory for data warehouse. Next one is data transformation. Next one is data transformation. The data transformation layer receives the data from the data sources, cleans and standardizes and loads into the data repository. This is the place. So here, data transformation. So as we know in the first stage, data sources. So it is to gather the data, to collect the data from different systems. Once the data is received from different systems, see, it may not be suitable for our data warehouse, or it has to be modified, it has to be cleaned. So this is nothing but the data transformation. And friends, very good example for this. Say, suppose if you want to apply for any of the application for any of the college, wherever it is. So suppose if they ask you to upload your photograph. So what normally we do is, so we get the photograph, we scan it from somewhere else, and you try to load into the particular website or web application. So during that process, whatever the date of the photograph what we have scanned in that particular system, it may not be fit into the size specified in the application or in web application. So in that way, we have to change that. So we have to modify our photograph in such a way that it should fit into that particular application, or it should be their standard. So that is the meaning of data transformation. So once the data is received from different resources, it has to be modified or cleaned as per our data warehouse components or as per our database. Next one is reporting. The data in the data warehouses must be available to the organization's staff, then data warehouse will be useful. So what is the meaning of reporting here? So whatever the data is available in the data warehouse, it must be available to the staff of or any employees of any organization for different types of reporting or for different types of views, different types of reports. The meaning is that, so here, once the data is available in the data warehouse, those data must be useful to the different staff or different employees to generate different types of reports for data analysis. So this is reporting. Next one is metadata. So what is a metadata? Here, data about data. Used to inform about the status of the data warehouse and about the information held within the data warehouse. So it is data about data. So what is the meaning of this metadata? Simple example is that it is data about data. In generally, if you come across any application form, here there may be one column or maybe one status like sex or gender of a student. So there under the gender we have male, female and others. So this is data about data. That is a simple example. But here similarly, data about data is nothing but it going to produce the status of the data warehouse. See, if the data warehouse, what is the meaning of data warehouse? Collection of data. So at every time, companies or any organization should be in a position to get the status of the data warehouse. If I say status of data warehouse, what is the condition of the data warehouse? Very simple example is, if you take a supermarket example, here the administrator, one who is running that, the one who is in charge of that particular stock, so he should be aware of that, the stock availability in the particular supermarket of different items. So that gives the current status of the supermarket or any items in the supermarket, nothing but stock. So similarly, so the metadata is a stage where it is data about data, means is going to report as the status of the data warehouse regarding different types of data. Next one is operations. So what are operations? Data warehouse consists of operations such as loading, manipulating and extracting data. Operations also cover user security and related functions. So the usage of the database is nothing but the data has to be used by different users of any organization. So if we use the database for different operations, for loading is a type of operations, and manipulating, updating and extracting data information, these are all different operations can be done on data warehouse. So these are nothing but operations. It also covers security and related functions of data warehouse. So this is operations. Now let us move on to next slide, and here let us see what are the advantages of data warehouse. Look at the first point. It enhances the end users access to reports and analysis of information. So here the user, so it will helpful for the user to report and analysis of information or nothing but data analysis. So it helps the user for data analysis. Next, increase data consistency. Next one is increases productivity and decreases computing cost. This is another important point. Next, able to combine data from different resources in one place. So this is the major advantage of that. So here we are going to collect different types of data from different types of devices or different locations. So that is, it will be available for the users for different types of reporting, maybe data analysis and so on. So this is another advantage of this. Next one is it provides an infrastructure that could support changes to data and replication of the changed data back into the operational system. So it provides infrastructure that could support changes to data, and it's going to provide a security. So changes to data and replication of data or any data which has been changed or modified is going to support it. So this is another advantages of data warehouse. Now let us see the next slide. This is disadvantages of data warehouse. So first one is extracting, cleaning and loading data could be time consuming. So as a data warehouse means is a collection of data and we have to get the data from different resources, but in practically extraction, cleaning and loading data into our system. So all the data, it has to be the transformation. That is what you have seen in our second stage. A second component, it has to be cleaned. So this process practically takes a lot of time and time consuming or is a difficult task. Next one is it can get outdated relatively quickly. Outdated. Suppose, very good example is if I take a supermarket. Here, if everybody using different types of items or different users, they are going to buy different types of items in a supermarket. So automatically after some time the data, it can get outdated relatively. What is the meaning of this? Suppose if you are looking for one particular product, everybody is looking for only one particular product, those products may not be available for the other users. So similarly, if I talk about in the data warehouse, the data which could be or outdated relatively quickly, very fast it will be outdated. Next one is problems with the compatibility with the systems already in place. So here, whatever the data available, it should fit into our system or it should fit into the respective database with respect to number of records, column size, and with so many factors. So it looks for the compatibility as well as system already in place. That is the major drawback of this data warehouse. Next one is providing training to end users. Actually, this is an important point. See here, to use a database or to use a data warehouse system, here one has to be, or end user has to be trained. That is another point. Like security could be a serious issue, especially if the data warehouse is internet accessible. So as you know, nowadays everything is all through internet. So it is a great connectivity. And the internet has its own loopholes. So it may be a threat, or internet accessibility to a database is a threat. So that is another drawback of this data warehouse. This is one more disadvantage. Let me continue my discussion in my next session. Thank you very much.